One of the things that popped out as I started to develop the timeline was the buildup of the instrumentation and taking it to market. Of course, the discovery, in 1921 of Spindletop, and then the torsion balance being taken and identifying that it was salt. And they wanted to do the torsion balance because they wanted to see how big the salt was. In 1922, you had the Nash Dome, which was a complete discovery due to the torsion balance. From 45 to 52, you can see the birth of an amazing amount of companies, exploration companies, data brokering companies. And then when you look at the time outside of the gravity world, this is post-World War II, and this is the Industrial Revolution. And so fossil fuel was monumentally important. So you had the salt dome, oil, and money. And then the other thing I discovered is the tenacity of the pioneers.
Our museum started in 1960 when some of the members decided we needed to preserve some of the instruments from the early days of oil and gas exploration. And we included seismic as well as potential fields instruments and teach the next generation about the history of exploration and the instruments and the people involved. The Iverson collection was acquired by the SEG and the SEG Foundation, and as they closed some of their offices in Tulsa, they needed a home for the collection because it was considered a world-class collection and we wanted to keep it together. So we volunteered to find a home currently now at Bell Geospace in Houston. We've maintained that because it is so important, because it has such a nice collection of a variety of instruments from various time periods.
The first Lacoste and Romberg was actually built in 1939. The theory was worked out by Lucien Lacoste in his PhD thesis in 1934. Over time, Lacoste and Romberg built about 1,200 gravity meters, and they stopped building them in 2004.
Warden meter was built in Houston, developed by Sam Warden. Texas Instruments had gotten wind of his Warden gravity meter, and they were at that time trying to develop a division that would provide geophysical instruments to the industry. And so the Warden gravity meter was the first product that Texas Instruments purchased.
As we approach what you might call the green revolution and the focus on renewables and so on, we're going to need to extract from the earth more minerals to satisfy that objective than we have extracted to date in human history. The needs for specialty minerals, copper and silicon and lithium and cobalt and rare earths and all these things, the quantities that we're going to need are just massive. There will be a need for more surveys. There will be a need for higher resolution surveys.
I think the exploration industry is booming right now. Obviously, it's cyclical in nature, but right now it's a very strong point. I think technologically, we're at a tipping point, moving into kind of a new generation. A lot of the equipment that we're still using and the technology traces its roots back quite a long ways, and we're still using some of the original equipment that was produced quite a while ago.
I've always believed that it's a must to know where you come from to be able to progress. And as an interpreter, you have to know where the data came from and what happened to the data before you get it and you interpret it and have a vital confidence in your interpretation. And so what I hope is that people will be able to see where these instruments came from, how they came about, the ones they're using today.